Ever since the initial rumours of the Stinger being introduced to the game, I've been really excited by the prospect of another Vanduul designed ships being brought into Star Citizen. The day is finally here where I get to try it out. I'll give my first impressions on the design and how they've brought the ship to life, and then we will take it out for a test flight. All of this is very much up in the air. This is still in the PTU and is by no means the final version of the Stinger. However, I can't imagine it straying too far from what they've implemented here. This is not a review. I don't do reviews in the PTU as so much can change once it hits the persistent universe, but I just had to take a look. So my first impressions on the design is that it looks incredible. Every line is sharp, every angle feels deliberate and aggressive. Of all the Vanduul design ships that we currently have access to, I think this one embodies what I imagined from the Vanduul the most. It feels organic and alive and almost like some kind of predator. The silhouette of this ship is menacing, and you just don't get that from human design ships. The image in my head of a group of these rising up from behind an asteroid and striking at unsuspecting ships is what nightmares would be made of in the Star Citizen universe. Alright, so let's climb inside and take a look around. Before we can lower the ramp fully, this almost ribcage-like structure has to open to make space for the ramp, just adding to that organic feel of the ship. And there's something quite sinister and almost creepy about it. Once inside, that vibe does not change at all, with what looks like almost like tendons and sinew that are all around the central cabin holding things together. There's not really a whole lot to look at inside this cabin, to be honest, and I feel like there's some real potential to use this space more effectively. To enter the pilot seat, we straddle this seat and are whisked up this almost rail-like system forward into the actual cockpit and control area itself. The view from this cockpit is exceptional, with my only real issue being that the control panels being so bright and also bright purple. Is it just me that feels like bright purple does not really suit this ship at all? I'd almost want it to be a dark, menacing blood red type colour for the Vanduul. One of the things I love most about the Stinger is the sounds that this ship makes. There's something otherworldly and visceral about it that just doesn't sound natural for our human understanding of mechanics and technology. It's not that clean whine of a human-made engine, it almost sounds organic in some way, almost like it's screaming, and it makes the entire experience so much more immersive of flying an alien-designed ship. One of the things I've noticed, and I'm hoping this is just an issue in the PTU, but I was very disappointed at first to see that there's no alien quantum animation. If you've not flown an alien ship before, the aura that glows around the ship as you go into quantum is totally different in the alien design ships, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. I think one of the coolest things about the alien ships is how the quantum looks, and it stresses that difference in technology and how things are created. Those are my first impressions. It's by no means a review at this point, but just giving my thoughts on what I've experienced so far. Anyway, let's go into a combat test and see how it holds up in its natural habitat. So we've just taken on one of the ambush missions here just to put the Stinger through its paces. And our target is here. Let's fly off and see how this does. I love the sounds of this ship so much.
Looks like you ran into some trouble with that last contract.
Okay, there's target in sight.
So don't be too tough on yourself.
Contract has cancelled itself, not sure why. Oh, those cannons feel powerful, but definitely struggling with the turning. If I can keep my distance, it should be okay. Man, I'm really feeling the lack of power pips here in the weapons. Just can't seem to consistently put down damage here. By the time I get back onto target, his shields will be back up. Yeah, I'm by no means a good pilot at all, but the ship is not helping my inadequacies at all. You can see the power pits down in the bottom right. There's just not enough power available unless I want to sacrifice my shields. Yeah, this Hawk is running rings around me at the moment, which is to be expected from a light fighter. But I did expect the Stinger to be a little more maneuverable. Thankfully, the weapons on the Hawk don't seem powerful enough to really do too much damage. But it is running rings around me. It's nice that the guns all fire at the same time. There's nothing worse than having cannons and... Oh, having cannons that don't all fire at the same time, at the same speed. I wonder if I'm being too harsh on maneuverability here, considering we are up against an Anvil Hawk, so it should be running rings around me, but I feel like a Corsair or a Constellation would still be a little more maneuverable than this. Let's have a look at these power pips quickly while I have a chance. Okay, I believe that's mission complete. Unmaneuverable, not quite enough power from that reactor. Hopefully that's something that we can upgrade with time. Oh, doesn't feel like a capable fighter for me at the moment for PvP, but maybe that's just my opinion. So my conclusion on the Esperia Stinger as it stands, I'll be honest, it's not quite lived up to what I had hoped for in its current form. It's incredibly slow and bulky even for a heavy fighter, and will easily get outclassed by something such as a Guardian or a Scorpius just due to how immobile it is. CIG have already tweaked the maneuverability of the Stinger, but even in this latest PTU patch, it still just wasn't quite maneuverable enough for me personally. I'd be happy and understand trading that mobility if the Stinger came with heavier shields and a bigger reactor, but it doesn't. The stock reactor does not provide nearly enough power to make the ship a solid damage dealer unless you make compromises on the shielding, and the Stinger needs as much of that shielding as it can get because it's more fragile than I believe it should be. I'm hoping it will have some tweaks over time and make it more of a menace, but for now I don't think it's going to be a permanent addition to my own fleet, which is a real shame because I love the idea and design so much. Of course, the Stinger is designed to take on larger ships rather than smaller fighters. However, I see no benefit of the Stinger over something like the Corsair or the Constellation, which gives you much more versatility, mobility, and the ability to actually carry cargo as well. I mean, what do you guys think? Have you had a chance to fly it yet? What are your first impressions? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear your opinions. And finally, of course, if you found yourself enjoying the video, found it useful, consider hitting that subscribe button for more Star Citizen content in the future. With that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.